Hello guys, welcome to StudyIQ. I'm Safir. In this session, we are going to discuss the concept of elasticity of demand. So when I normally talk about elasticity of demand, I'm going to discuss the price elasticity of demand. Otherwise, there is income elasticity of demand also. So first, we will start with the price elasticity of demand, which there is no need to mention specifically price. You just need to tell that elasticity of demand. So I'll just write it here, elasticity of demand. Okay. So price, I'll just keep in bracket. And then when I discuss next, that is the income elasticity of demand, you need to make it very specific that it is income elastic demand. Okay. So guys, here we have already done with the concept of demand supply. So we have seen that demand curve look like this, the downward sloping, and we have seen the law of demand. That is, when the price increase, the quantity demanded will decrease. When the price decrease, the quantity demanded will increase. And there is an inverse relation between the price and the quantity demanded, and that's the law of demand. And we have seen that when it comes to supply, it is increasing. This kind of slope is what you will get. And the relation is when the price increase, the supply will be more. And when the price decrease, the supply will be less. Demand, we need to see from the individual perspective. The individual must be willing and able to buy a quantity of a commodity at a particular price. Supply, we need to see from the firm's perspective, and the firm must be able to sell at a particular price. Okay, so we have seen things which affect the demand, and we have also seen the things which affect the supply. And the most important point that we have discussed under supply, you need to look for cost of production, because that's the most important determinant of supply. And in cost of production, everything, including the rent, wages, interest rate, the salary, everything, the taxes and everything will come over there. So that part is done. Now in this session, we are going to talk about elasticity of demand. So it is actually the degree of responsiveness of demand or quantity demanded based on the change in price. So let's say price have changed. There is a change in price. I'll just use the symbol delta to indicate there is a price change or change. So change in price, and we need to see how much change in quantity demanded. Guys, if the price changes, mostly, I'm not saying in all cases, there may be cases, even if price changes, the demand may not change. And that we need to discuss here. Okay. So most of the time when the price change, demand change. So most of the time when the price increase, demand will decrease. When the price decrease, demand will increase. So we need to see what percentage or what degree responsiveness is there. Like 10% change in the price, will there be 10% change in quantity demanded or more quantity demanded? We need to look for. If it is more, then quantity demanded change more based on some small change in price. That's how you will interpret. Okay, so it is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded based on the change in price. You guys might be waiting for something now, right? So the price of some item, you want to buy this price, this item X, and the price you think that is slightly high, maybe gold or whatever it is, and you might be waiting for this to buy if the price is going to come down. So that is what I've told you. When the price comes down, there will be a change in demand. There will be an increase in demand. But these things you can wait, but there are certain things which you cannot wait, right? So that is what I've told you. Whether there is a change in price or not, it is not going to affect. You will have to buy medicine. If there is any necessity, this is a necessary item. Whatever I have discussed that you can wait, that is luxury item, or you have choice there. I can have, I don't want to have. I have a choice whether to buy or not to buy at this point of time. So whenever choice is there, the demand will change based on the change in price. But when you don't have choice, like medicine, I don't have choice. If I suffer with something, I have to take medicine. I cannot wait for the price to come down, or if the price is increasing, I'm not going to stop consuming it. I have to take medicine, right? Same way food, the regular food that I used to take, not the protein foods or, luxury foods that I'm talking about, the basic food, right? The rice and other things, which definitely I have to take. I cannot wait for the price to increase or decrease. I'm not going to reduce my consumption if the price is going to be increased. I'm not going to eat twice or thrice if the price is reduced. So these items, what are they? These are necessary items. You don't have choice with respect to these items. You can just remember these two words: necessity. That means you don't have choice. In this case, there won't be change on the demand based on the change in price. Guys, I've seen they have asked this question from elasticity of demand. They have asked questions. That's the reason why I'm stressing on this. And the conceptual clarity is going to be very important. And that's going to play the key role here. So I hope that that part is clear, and I'll explain with the formula, with examples. So things will be more clear to you. But as of now, you need to see, do you have choice? Then quantity demanded will change based on the price, because you can wait for the price to come down or for the price to increase. But if you don't have choice, it is not going to affect the price change is not going to affect the demand much, right? If you need to buy a medicine, it is not going to affect the demand much, whether the price is increased or not. Basic food, it is not going to affect the demand. So those are what you call as inelastic demand. The necessary items, or the items which do not have any choice, or the items whose demand won't change based on the price change, that is inelastic demand. On the other hand, if there is a change, that is elastic. But there are different situations, and that all I will explain. So as I've told you, it is the degree of responsiveness. If you want to write down the definition, you can just take it down. It is a degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity to the change in price. So in the new, I'll just show you in this way. So what is quantity demanded? I'll just write it as percentage change in quantity demanded. This delta is a change divided by percentage change in price. So you can see here, elasticity, I'm using E. Okay. Now here here price elasticity, I don't want to mention EP. Later, when I discuss income elasticity, I will mention EY to indicate income over there. Okay. So here, numerator, change in quantity demanded divided by change in price. So that this is what we need to take. Okay. Now we have different scenarios you will get. If the quantity demanded change more than the change in price, I'll just show you this situation. Quantity demanded will change more than the change in price, right? So what is that? So the situation, let me mark it as 1. That means, let's say price have changed 10%, price have reduced by 10%, but there is an increase of, let's say, 25%, right? In the quantity demanded. So what is this? So here you can see this value, E will be more than 1, because the numerator is higher, denominator is lower. So E is going to be greater than 1. So the first case is where E is greater than 1. In which scenario it will happen? It will happen if there is a more change in demand than the percentage change in price. That means, let's say 10% change in price, 25, 30, 40% change in demand, or 15% change in price, 35, 45, 50% change in demand. So QD is higher, the percentage change in QD is higher than the percentage change in price. So here E value will be more than 1. This is what elastic demand. So the first situation is what we have discussed, that elastic demand. So what is, how can you actually explain this? When it comes to elastic demand, normally whatever we have drawn, the demand curve, there is a downward sloping curve. Here you need to make it a bit flatter. So like this only, when you draw this demand curve, normal situation, you will be drawing like this. Okay. So in this situation, what you need to do is to understand better, make it a bit flatter. Even more flatter will be much better, but it should not be horizontal line. That will be the perfect elastic demand. That's the last situation where you can draw a horizontal line. So this is going to be a little bit flatter curve. So you can see here, let's see, I'll just take 2 points here. This is 1 point. I'll just join here. Another point, I'll just join here. Guys, so you can see here price is P1, okay, and then Q, this is the quantity demanded for you, right? So on y-axis, you will go for price. On the x-axis, you will go for quantity demanded. So you can see here, when the price is P, quantity demanded is, let's say, D1. So D1 quantity was demanded when the price was P. Now you can see price has come down to P1. Now there is a change in price. So how much change in price? You can see here in this graph itself, this portion P to P1 is a change, but that led to quantity demanded to D2. So what is the change there? You can see it is slightly larger. So P to P1, there is a small change, but D1 to D2, there is a big gap. So directly from this diagram itself, you can understand that quantity demanded have changed more than the price change. Correct? So that is clearly you can understand when you're drawing a flatter curve. Little more flatter will be little more better. But anyway, I hope this is very clear. There is no need for further explanation. The diagram itself will tell you what I want to tell, right? So the price have changed. I can, maybe if I want, I can put it as 10%. I'm just putting some random numbers so that you can easily understand. So this is going to be, let's say, 20%. Can you see that gap? That gap itself will tell you the entire story. What is elastic demand? So the E is more than 1. Which situation E will come more than 1? Demand will change more than the change in price. Percentage change. Okay, when I talk about change, I'm talking in terms of percentage, obviously. What is the second situation? It will be less than 1, right? So when this, so that is the second situation. E will be less than 1. In which scenario it will happen? If it need to happen, the price have changed, right? But demand have not changed. That means price changes more than the demand change. So that means the price have changed, but it is not affecting demand. Demand is not changing. So how can I show that? Percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay, and then price changes more than that. So this is elastic demand. Now, what is this second one? E less than 1. This is inelastic demand. So I have already mentioned about this and I've given you the example also, right? So what is that? Now, how to draw this diagram to make you understand? I need to make it a bit steeper. It should not be a vertical line. As I've told you before, it should not be horizontal line. It should be flatter. Now here, it should not be vertical line. It should be a kind of steeper curve. Okay, so that why I'm doing it so is because it will help you to visualize things in a better way. So if you see here, I'll just go a bit steeper, not vertical. If it look vertical for you, okay, I can't tell anything now. Okay, so I've taken this point now. Okay, and then I've taken this point also. So guys, there is a change from P to P1. There is a price decrease, correct? Price decrease is there. So what happened with the quantity demanded? D2, D1, you can see only a small or negligible change. That is why it is less than 1. Sometimes it will be 0. That means quantity demanded, when it will happen, when will you get 0? Numerator should be 0, right? See, here it is less than 1. Less than 1 means some change will be there, but not as per the price change. It is expected that if price changes 10%, demand also will change 10% or at least more. But in this situation, in elastic case, if price changes 10%, even less than that is actually quantity demanded change. There is a change, but it is less. That means not much choice is there, but still you can adjust certain food items like that. But when it comes to medicine, those things, it has to be 0. Why E should be 0? Because the numerator is the quantity demanded. It is not going to affect the quantity demanded. It is not going to increase nor decrease. It will remain the same irrespective of the price. So E will be 0. That is what perfectly inelastic. What is the example for perfectly inelastic one? Clear, right? Medicine, which I've given to you. Okay, so I hope it is very clear. So I hope this change you can see now, P to P1, there's a very big change, but D to D1, a small change. Can you see the difference between these two? Elastic and inelastic. Elastic, price change is small, quantity demanded is bigger. Down, the x-axis you can see. elastic, the first case, price changes small, quantity demanded is this much. But in the second case, inelastic, price changes this much, y-axis, but quantity demanded is this much. The reason also I've explained. The reason is this. Okay, E less than 1, E greater than 1. What is a third situation? Or even before I go with the third situation, now we will see perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic situations, unitary elastic demand, where unitary elastic will be what? That's again a theoretical situation. Let's say price change 10%, quantity demanded also change exactly 10%. So numerator 10%, denominator 10%. That means which will be equal to 1. So E equal to 1 situation, that is unitary elastic, which is a theoretical concept. Practically the first and second one, that elastic and inelastic will happen. Perfectly inelastic and perfectly elastic also slightly difficult. Perfectly inelastic, sometimes when it comes to these essential medicines, life-saving medicines, it may come. Okay, so let's talk about determinants of demand or determinants of elasticity. Guys, this was actually asked as a question in prelims, and these are very simple concepts, right? Once you understood the concept, see how things are getting pretty simple for you. So the first one, the nature of commodity. As I've told you in the beginning itself, do you have a choice? Then it is going to be elastic, because you can wait for the price to come down. You want to buy a fridge, you want to buy an air conditioner, you want to buy a car, you can wait for the offers to come, right? Some festive season, so that the offers will come, the price will come down, and that is the reason why in the festive seasons, in Diwali and all, the demand will be higher, right? Why? Because there is a change in price and people are waiting for that time. You can wait because you have choice. These are not necessity. Okay, so the nature of commodity, whether you have choice or not choice, is it necessity or luxury? Okay, so these two words you can remember: choice, no choice; necessity, luxury. Necessity, you can't wait. Okay, so that may not make much change. So the nature of commodity. So when I say necessity, what is the example? Food item, right? Food item, medicines. You can give example. No choice there. So the price won't change much. Even if the price change, the demand won't. See, I've told you, food, the price have increased. You will not stop consuming food. The price is reduced. You are not going to eat twice than what you used to eat, right? So it is not going to affect much. So that is why nature of commodity. Luxury, it will affect. Okay, necessity, it won't affect. So necessity is what? Your inelastic. No, necessity is inelastic, yes, and luxury is your elastic. Elastic, you can use the word either luxury or you have choice. When you have choice, you can wait. That's why elastic. That's why E greater than 1. So whenever you see now E greater than 1, these are items have choice, or these are not necessary. These are luxury, like air conditioners and all. The price will change, demand will change drastically because you can wait. Okay, wait for the price change to happen. And E less than 1, inelastic. You can't wait. So demand won't be affected much. Let's talk about the second one, availability of substitutes. Guys, if the substitutes are available, then there is no problem, right? So substitute, if it is available, it is going to be elastic. If it is not available, it is going to be inelastic. Simple. So available will be elastic, not available will be inelastic, because if the substitute is not available to you, you have to buy that item. So there is no choice whether the price change or not. You have to buy. The demand remain the same, right? If there is a substitute which is available for you, when the price change, quantity demanded will definitely change, because there is a substitute. You have option. So guys, example, you can talk about toothpaste, right? Now the third one. There's one more thing that is related to individual. If I'm habituated to something, like if you want air conditioner, without that you cannot sleep, then, like before, I have mentioned air conditioners as part of elastic demand, luxury, and you have choice. But there may be situation because of your habit, these things may not be luxury for you, but these things are necessary for you. So if you're habituated to something, then I can't sleep without AC. If that is a situation, I can adjust everything, but if I cannot sleep without AC, can I wait for the price to come down to buy an AC? No. So in this situation, it doesn't matter. But again, it comes to individual only. That will not affect the macroeconomic situation much. But I'm just explaining the situation. If you're getting a question, if you're habituated to something, this is not going to be a luxury. This is going to be, necessary for you. Okay, so habitual, then it becomes inelastic, because you will not be able to survive without that. Okay, so you have to buy it. You cannot wait for the price to come down, right? So the price increase or decrease will not affect the demand. First thing that you need to do is you have to buy it, because you are habituated to that, and without that you cannot survive. I hope this is very clear and there is no need to explain further. And what about the next one? Fourth one, income. Okay, income. Guys, now if you see here, there are three situations. You have very low income. Okay, and then I can talk about medium income, and then I talk about very high income. Okay, what about the situation of very low income people? Now imagine, if you get questions like this, you need to think what kind of items these people will buy. Very low income people, they don't buy luxury items, right? They will only buy the necessary items for their survival. So it doesn't matter for them whether the price is increased or decreased. They are only buying the necessary item. So their demand is inelastic demand. Why? Because they are always looking for the necessary items. They don't have money to buy luxury items already, because the income is very low. So when it comes to very low income, there is no question of waiting for something to, buy for the waiting for the price to decrease to buy something. You don't have such kind of hopes and expectations. You are looking for survival, daily food, etc. So your demand is inelastic. It won't create, or it won't change, much, okay, based on the change in price. So I hope this is very clear. Because there, why it is inelastic, I'll just write it also. They are demanding only the necessities, the basic food, clothes, etc. That's their demand. So it doesn't matter whether the price is increased or not. This is necessary item. So it is inelastic. Medium income, middle class people, this is very elastic, because middle class income people is what, who are very aspirational. They are waiting for, the price to come down so that I can buy an air conditioner. They're waiting for the price to come down so that I can buy some furnitures to home. I want to make things better, look better, feel better, to show off better, right? I want to buy a car. If the price is coming down, I'll definitely buy a car. So when it comes to middle class, their income is elastic. Low class, not lower class, very low income people, this is inelastic, because necessary. For middle class, they will have every item that they can buy necessary, but they have some additional money, but not that much. They will wait for the price to come down. That is elastic. Now guys, third one, very high income people, Mukesh Ambani, like that. What about their situation? What about their demand? It is inelastic. It's just like poor people, inelastic. Why? Because let's say I am Mukesh Ambani. Do I wait for the price to come down for buying something? No. I want something, whatever it is, luxury, whatever price it is, I'm going and buying it today itself. So my demand is not depends on the price. Howsoever change in price, the demand is not going to change. Some items the price have reduced or increased, I may or may not buy, but whatever I want at this point of time, I want a Benz, I want a BMW, I want an Audi car, I want a aeroplane. Still, I go and buy. I won't check for the price to come down. You got my point? So this is also inelastic. Now, I hope the concept is very clear. What you need to look for, whether you have choice or not. If you have choice, it is elastic. Middle class, their demand is based on their choice. Okay, for very low income and high income people, it is inelastic. Now, let me talk about the other three situations also very quickly. E less than 1 we discussed. E greater than 1 we discussed. So this is inelastic and this is elastic. So what is E equal to 1? Their 10% change in price, exactly 10% change in quantity demand. Guys, this is exact change will not happen. It is a theoretical concept. So unitary elastic demand. So I'll just write it here. Percentage change in quantity demanded equal to percentage change in price. So practically, which one will come? We use these two practical situations. Okay. Now, what about the next one? E will be equal to 0. So when E will be equal to 0, something will come 0 only if the numerator is 0. What is numerator? Quantity demanded. So I'm saying price have changed, but quantity demanded is not changing at all. It remains 0. There is no change, absolutely no change. These are very necessary items. Salt, right? You increase the price 100%, but still you're not stopping, putting salt, right? So it is not going to affect much. Same case with medicine also. Salt is a very good example in this case, if you want to. Okay, so E equal to 0, whether the price increase or decrease, it is not going to affect the demand at all. So this I have told you, this is inelastic, right? Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. So inelastic is steeper. So this will look like a vertical curve, exact vertical curve. That's how the perfectly inelastic one will look like. Now, the next possibility will be price will be, there is no change in price, quantity demanded change drastically, which also is theoretical concept. E will be infinity. So what kind of curve? This is what perfectly elastic. Guys, I'm talking about all the possibility, out of which the first two is very important. Third one, unitary elastic, they will ask you question. Fourth one, very necessary item. Now this is perfectly elastic. So how the diagram will look like? It will be, I've told you the elastic one is a flatter one. So this is a very good, horizontal line. That's how it will be. So this is going to be your demand curve. So very clear now. Okay. So we have 5 situations. E greater than 1, elastic. E less than 1, inelastic. E equal to 0, unitary elastic demand. E equal to 1, unitary elastic. E equal to 0, unitary inelastic. So in this situation, you need a vertical curve, and E equal to infinity. That's what perfectly elastic. So first one, elastic. Second one, inelastic. Third one, unitary elastic. Fourth one, perfectly inelastic. Fifth one, perfectly elastic. I hope it is very clear to all of you, and I hope you enjoy the session. This concept is very, very important that they will ask you. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up so that we'll do more. And if you have any doubts, you can comment below, and see you in the next session, guys. Do subscribe the channel also. Thank you.